Hello, friends. Notes on English literature. 16th and 17th century poetry. Selected poems of John Donne. A benediction. Forbidding morning. Brief questions with answers. Brief questions 1 to 18. Question 1. What was the occasion of the poem? Answer. Benediction means farewell. The poet advises his beloved not to mourn at the moment they bid farewell to each other. The occasion was the poet's departure for France in 1611 for a short visit. According to several critics, the poet addresses his beloved wife and more to offer consolation for his short absence. Question 2. What does the word benediction mean? Answer. The word benediction means farewell. Question 3. Why does the poet forbid his beloved to mourn? Answer. The poem, a benediction forbidding mourning, reveals the fact that temporary separation cannot cause a breach of perfect love. Absence extends the domain and expanse of love. That is why mourning is prohibited, because love is eternal. Question 4. How does the poet urge his wife to allow him to go? Answer. Donne urges his wife to let him go like big virtuous people who die very quietly, being dauntless of death. Question 5. What, according to the poet, would be profanation of their joys or their love? Answer. Donne considers the love between himself and his beloved is as sacred and deep. Hence, it would be a disgrace to their love to make it known to the common people. This kind of pure love cannot be destroyed through transitory physical separation. Question 6. With what does Donne compare his separation from his beloved in a benediction forbidding mourning? Answer. Donne compares his separation from his beloved with the trepidation of the heavenly bodies, which remain totally unfelt by the people of the world. So also their parting should be peaceful and harmless. Question 7. What is the nature of love of the dull sublunary lovers? Answer. Insensitive earthly lovers, love is confined only to the senses. They cannot endure the absence of the object of their love. For absence removes the physical self of the beloved on which their love is based. Question 8. What is the nature of love between the poet and his beloved? Answer. The love between the poet and his beloved is spiritual and refined. They are also confident and faithful to each other, so that physical separation does not matter at all to them. Question 9. Do you find any medieval cosmology used by Donne in his poem? Answer. The term sublunary used by Donne in his poem Benediction Forbidding Mourning stands for any object situated under the moon. According to medieval cosmology, any object under the moon is subject to change or decay. So sensual lovers' love must perish, as human bodies are also subject to decay. Question 10. How does Donne show or prove his inseparability from his beloved? Answer. Donne says that, like gold, the honest of the lover's souls of the poet and his beloved is precious. Just as gold, when it is beaten, does not break into pieces, but spreads out and grows airy thin. Similarly, their separation from each other does not mean a break of love. Rather, it is more refined and spiritualized. Question 11. What does the poet compare their two souls to? And so the poet compares their two souls, one of himself and the other of his beloved, to the 2 feet of a compass, which appear to be separate but are in reality united at the top. The beloved who stays at home may be likened to its fixed root, which doesn't seem to move, but which moves in reality. If the other foot moves. Question 12. What instrument does the poet compare his beloved to and why? Answer. The poet compares his beloved to the foot of the compass, which remains fixed at the center, but it leans and follows the other foot when it moves and grows erect, and unites with the moving foot when it returns to the starting point after completing the circle. Question 13. Why firmness makes my circle just explain? Why thy firmness makes thy circle just explain? And so the beloved has the same relation with the lover, the poet, as the fixed root of the compass has with the moving foot which moves and draws a circle. It is the firmness of the fixed root. It is the firmness of the fixed foot which enables the moving foot to draw the circle correctly. Similarly, it is her love and faithfulness which would enable him to perform his journey successfully and then return home to unite with her. Question 14. In what sense Donne's love is platonic in his poems? And so Donne can claim that his love is platonic when he says that he differs from the sublunary sensual lovers. His love is spiritual and in no way dependent upon bodily attraction. Question 15. What idea can you form of Donne's beloved through the poem Valediction, Forbidding Morning? And so the silent presence of Donne's beloved can be gauged from the statements made by the poet in his poem Valediction, Forbidding Morning. The poet addresses her saying, "Thy firmness makes my circle just." Here, firmness means constancy. Thus, her presence is assured. She appears to be a paragon of beauty. Question 16. How, according to the poet, virtuous people pass away? Answer. The people who lead a virtuous life on earth, says the poet, pass away quietly without any complaint or anxiety. They ask their souls to depart peacefully, although their friends and admirers may be sad at such an occasion. Question 17. Explain the meanings of the following lines. But trepidation of the spheres, though greater far, is innocent. Answer. The movements of the larger sphere or heavenly bodies, which is subject to greater convulsions than the earthquakes, has no such violent consequences. They cannot cause any damage or destruction to our world because they are far away from us. Question 18. Do you find any autobiographical elements in the poem? Answer. Valediction, Forbidding Morning is a personal poem showing the pure love and devotion of Donne to his beloved. Some critics feel that the poem is addressed to his wife Anne More on the occasion of his departure for France in 1611 for a short visit. Thank you, friends, for watching my video.